This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here just for a short shoot-around show. But, could be extended if we get a bunch of phone calls and things like that. You can always call in 516-362-5212. And I do want to remind you, before we even get popping, ladies and gentlemen, we got the NBA draft party next Thursday at Legends. Make sure you join us there, folks. It's going to be dope. And again, like I keep saying, I think the Knicks are going to do something at the draft. So make sure you're there with us to celebrate whatever it is. Hopefully it's something good, something to celebrate. And then the next weekend, on Saturday, July 1st, we're having our first annual NBK Cookout just outside of Albany, New York. It's going to be a dope time, ladies and gentlemen. Food, music, content creation, podcasting, basketball games, any other kind of game you can think of that belongs at a cookout. So make sure you join us. I'll put the link in the YouTube chat soon. And, of course, it'll be in the description of this video. But the purpose of today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is to talk about a couple of topics. Number one being Bradley Beal. And we've been talking about Bradley Beal for the last couple of days in relation to him possibly leaving the Washington Wizards and maybe joining your New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. And I tell you what, it's getting closer and closer to happening. According to The Athletic, Shams to be exact, the New York Knicks and the Sacramento Kings have joined the Heat and the Bucks, ladies and gentlemen, as teams expected to be in competition for Bradley Beal, should he become available. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know how much the Bucks are really going to be in competition. I'm sure they're going to put their name out there. They're going to try to get Bradley Beal, but I don't know if Bradley Beal wants to go to the other side of the country. He's very much a family dude. And he really does like having his children in D.C., where, given the amount of money that he has, he can afford for his kids to go to some of the best schools in the country in Washington, D.C. Sidwell Friends, is one of them, at least in the future. I'm not sure if they have, school for his age, for kids his age, but it's one of the best schools in the country, and I'm pretty sure he'd like his children to go there. So I think Bradley Beal is going to stay on the East Coast. On the East Coast. I don't see him going too far. I think he's going to be within hours of being able to get home by flight. Sacramento, that's a distance, even by flight. When you're talking about the Heat, a couple hours away by flight, 2 hours away by flight in Miami. The Knicks, an hour away by flight. The Bucks, I'm assuming, probably an hour to 2 hours away by flight. I think, just my opinion, that's what Bradley Beal would do. Out of those 4 teams, and I'm sure there'll be more that put their name in the hat. Out of those 4 teams, ladies and gentlemen, I think the Miami Heat probably have the best chance to land Bradley Beal. From everything that I've read, all the reports that I've read, the Miami Heat, that's his #1 destination if he were to leave the Washington Wizards. Now, I think the Wizards are still his #1 destination. That's where he would prefer. He would prefer to stay in Washington. But if Michael Winger, he's like, hey, listen, we're gonna rebuild this thing. We have to. And I would agree with him. They need to rebuild. They need to start over, start from scratch. Start from the dirt and build that thing back up because it stinks in D.C., man. They don't have nothing going on. Nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? So it would make sense that they would want to rebuild. How do you rebuild with Bradley Beal? Not that, and it's not about Bradley Beal not being a good basketball player because he is, but if you're the Wizards, how do you rebuild with his contract? That's a large contract. You know what I mean? And a large commitment. When he's finished with that contract, but he's 34 years old. And if you're rebuilding, you're talking about 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. You know what I mean? Bradley Beal would be sitting in the locker room like Melo was when he was playing with Team USA. All these young guys and Melo sitting there grouchy because they're sitting there singing songs and doing whatever. That's going to be Bradley Beal on the Wizards if they decide to rebuild, and he's still there. So, yeah, if they decide to rebuild, I can't see Bradley Beal staying. I see him moving on. This is the most serious that we've heard it. We've always heard rumors about Bradley Beal possibly leaving or, questioning whether or not he should stay in D.C. But he would always end up staying in D.C. This is the hottest that it's been. And now I'm starting to feel like Bradley Beal is going to be on the move. And Miami, I think Miami is the best. It's going to be the best spot for Bradley Beal. I think that's a perfect fit. I don't know what their salary cap situation looks like, but I would think they'll find a way to make it work. And it might involve moving Tyler Hero. I can't see him moving Jimmy Butler. Or let's put it like this. I can't see Bradley Beal agreeing to a trade if Jimmy Butler is on his way to Washington. And Washington would be stupid to do that anyway if they're rebuilding. I could see Tyler Hero maybe being on the move. And I know Tyler Hero is a good basketball player. I don't think he's as good as Bradley Beal. But the reason why I say Tyler Hero is the Miami Heat made it to the NBA Finals without Tyler Hero stepping on the court in the playoffs. They made it to the NBA Finals. So if you add Bradley Beal, a healthy Bradley Beal, to that group of players, it's like you're bringing in a player. I mean, obviously Tyler Hero was there for the entire season, but they made it to the finals without Tyler Hero playing. And now you bring in a Bradley Beal who will hopefully be there for the entire season and then can join you in the playoffs. I don't know what else they would have to include in the package or, how they make the money work. But I'm pretty sure Pat Riley will figure it out. He'd figure it out. Gabe Vincent is a free agent. Maybe Caleb Martin or not the other guy. I can't think of his name now, but, the white guy that was knocking down threes. Not Duncan Robinson, the other guy. He's a free agent, I believe. Right? They might figure out how to get it done. Now, Gabe Vincent, he didn't make much money. He made $1.8 million. All right? So, that's not going to go that long of a way in bringing in Bradley Beal. All right? Because you got to match almost $50 million. Right, so you think of players that might be on the move. Maybe Duncan Robinson is on the move. Victor Oladipo is maybe on the move. Tyler Hero is maybe on the move. But let's put it like this. Duncan Robinson, his contract goes till 25-26. If the Wizards are looking to rebuild, they're not going to want that long of a contract, I don't think. Because I don't think they're looking to build around, or maybe with Duncan Robinson, but not on $18 million a year. Until 25-26. Victor Oladipo, his contract would expire next season, at the end of next season. You could probably throw Caleb Martin in there. But Tyler Hero, listen, he's going to make $27 million beginning next season. This is when his contract extension kicks in. $27 million next season, $29 million the season after that, $31 million in 25-26, $33 million in 26-27. And he might be a guy that the Wizards say we can build with. Now, do they want that long of a contract and that big of a contract? If they're moving on from Bradley Beal, I don't know. But that's one of the bigger contracts that you can include in the trade that would help to get you Bradley Beal. Kyle Lowry makes $29.6 million. His contract is over in 23-24. You could see Kyle Lowry thrown in there. Of course, Bradley Beal is going to have to approve of whatever contract or whatever, not contract, I'm sorry, whatever negotiations or whatever the package looks like. But I'm pretty sure the Miami Heat could find a way to make this happen if they wanted it to happen. Yeah, I could see him going to the Miami Heat, and I could see that being a good fit. As far as the Knicks, you know, I'm not going to be that upset if he goes on to the Miami Heat. Not that I don't like Beal, but I'm just not sure I want to rock with that contract right now. You know, it's a monster contract. We already know this. We've been over the contract. He's going to make $46.7 million next season. 50.2 the season after that, 53.6 in 25-26, and then a player option for 57.1 in 26-27. I don't know if the Knicks are, first of all, I don't know if Bradley Beal is that guy, and I don't know if the Knicks are ready to do that. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Knicks are ready to do it. But the Knicks are going to put their name in. They're putting their name in the hat in this competition for Bradley Beal. I kind of feel like he ends up with the Miami Heat. Okay, that's cool if he does. You know, the Knicks can go in another direction. There's going to be people out there, I think. The Knicks are going to be trying to make moves, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to make moves during this offseason. And, you know, this could be one of the bigger ones. Hit him up says, scared money don't make money. I don't know if that applies in this situation because the Knicks is making money, bro. Bring Bradley Beal or not, the Knicks is making money. Now, if you talk about winning a championship, does Bradley Beal make you a championship contender if you add him to this team? I think he makes you better, no doubt about it. Are you a championship contender? Only time will tell. But I think there's other ways to use that money. Smarter ways to use that money, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think there's other ways to use that money that can make you more of a contender. I don't think anything's going to make you a surefire contender. You know what I mean? It's not going to make you a surefire contender, but I think there's other ways to use that money. You know what I'm saying? JJ said, has Beal shown he can be a number one or number two on a true contender? The Wizards haven't been a true contender since he's been there, and I don't think that's his fault. Not at all, but I can tell you this. Bradley Beal put up some numbers in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And that's something that, besides Jalen Brunson, the Knicks haven't had another guy that can put up numbers, the type of numbers that Bradley Beal has put up in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So I can't knock him for that. He's been in the playoffs in his career 5 times, right? And he's averaging 23.5 points per game, shooting 44% from the field and almost 35% from the three-point line. The last time he was in the playoffs in 2020, 2021, he averaged 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. All right, he shot 45% from the field. He only shot 21.9% from the three-point line. But, I mean, the guy can get it done. I think he's proven that he can get it done. You know what I mean? Kerry Cox said, I actually believe going after Zach is the smarter move. That might be true for the Knicks. Me and Tony had this discussion on his show a couple of nights ago about, out of all of the players who have been mentioned or linked to the Knicks, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, Karl Anthony Towns, Zion, I guess, not really, but, his name is always going to be linked with the Knicks. At all of these players, what would be the best move? And I think we both agreed that Zach LaVine might be the best move. If the Knicks are going to make a move for one of these guys, he might be the best. Not the best. I'm not saying the best player. I'm saying the best move for the Knicks. All right. Now, Zach LaVine, he's on a big contract too. He's not on Bradley Beal's contract. All right. There's not that many players in the league that are on Bradley Beal's contract. But he still has a pretty hefty contract. He'll make $40 million in 23-24. This is Zach LaVine we're talking about. He'll make $43 million in 24-25. He'll make $45.9 million in 25-26. And then he'll make $48.9 million in 26-27. There is no, he does not have a no trade clause. Okay, so, that at least you have that. And listen, Zach LaVine, I think 27 years old, just reaching that prime, those prime years. So that could be something. You know what I mean? And as the Chicago Bulls, I feel like they're in a pretty similar situation as the Washington Wizards. Their team is a little bit more complete than the Wizards, right? A little more complete. They're a better team, I think. But a similar situation with the Wizards. They're not going anywhere fast, the Chicago Bulls. I don't think they're going anywhere fast. They might break it down. You know what I'm saying? They might break it down. Now, I guess the thing is this. If the Knicks don't feel, going back to Bradley Beal, if the Knicks do not feel they have another guy to go after, that being a Zach LaVine, will they push their chips in for Bradley Beal? If they don't feel they have another guy. I was just on Big Freezy's show earlier today, Lawrence Tiz. And he asked a good question. Are you at a point with the Knicks where, yeah, we're a good team and, we can rock with, going to the second round and continue to grow slowly? Or do you see an opening in the Eastern Conference and you think you should attack? Me and Steph were kind of on the same page. There's an opening there, and you should attack that opening. There's a chance right now in the Eastern Conference. Things are shaking up in the Eastern Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks, thought to be the powerhouse, got eliminated in the first round. We don't know what's going to happen to their team right now. Right? I think Chris Middleton is a free agent. Brook Lopez is a free agent. Right? Okay, Chris Middleton has a player option for next season for $40.3 million. I don't know whether or not he's chosen to opt out or what. I mean, it's a lot of money, 40.3. Maybe he's looking to spread that out, make it a longer contract. Who knows? Especially with the new CBA coming up. We'll see how teams are going to maneuver around that. Brook Lopez is an unrestricted free agent. So they have some things that they've got to think about and figure, are we the same powerhouse team that we thought we were? We just got eliminated in the first round. Philadelphia might change. James Harden might go back to Houston. So there are some changes, and there may be some lanes open in the Eastern Conference, and you'd be crazy not to say, hey, let's go for it. But I think you got to be smart. Right? So I think you got to go for it. But if there's not, don't force it, though. Go for it, but don't force it. Right? If you see that there's a player there that you can get that you feel is going to take you over the top. He fits with what you do. And some people say, well, what do we do and all that kind of stuff. I get it, but I'm assuming that the front office feels like they have a standard of play, a style of play. And if there's a player that fits what you do, you go get him. And you try to make that move in the Eastern Conference. But if you don't find that guy, if that guy isn't available, I don't think you force it. I don't think you force it because, that can hurt. That can hurt you. Then you say, all right, well, let's add some around the edges. Let's put a few more pieces to the puzzle together. So so I'm kind of there with it. I'd like for the Knicks to try to strike right now because the iron is hot. And the East, that opening that's in the Eastern Conference can close up really quick. Beal goes to Miami. There's talks that there's a pathway for Miami to land Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal. I don't know what that would do to their depth, but there's a pathway, I guess. I didn't read it. I just read the headline. Okay? I mean, if that happens, they might be a powerhouse for a while, for a couple of years. Brooklyn, if they can add a guard, a closer, add another guy in there, they could be a good basketball team. All right, Philadelphia is going to be good even if James Harden leaves. But if they're able to add a player to replace James Harden, they're still going to be good. Boston's going to be good. Milwaukee, they got Giannis. They're going to be good. So these teams are still going to be good. There's some changes going on, but the Knicks need to be part of those changes, I think. You know what I mean? They need to be part of those changes. Kevin says the Knicks will never be good without a quality wing player. I dig what you're saying. That's the reason why I think you got to strike. Try to get one of those guys, but don't just throw anybody in there. Like, for example, I wouldn't go get James Harden because I don't think he's the kind of wing player that the Knicks need. And I think that would hurt the team way more than it helps the team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just going to get somebody just to get somebody to say, hey, we got a guy. It's got to be the right kind of guy. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. Got to be the right kind of guy. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks, at least according to The Athletic, according to Shams, have made it known to the Washington Wizards they want to be in the competition for Bradley Beal. Right? If they want to be in the competition, Bradley Beal, I don't know how he feels about New York. If he's really interested in being a Knick. You know what I'm saying? There's always been, I've heard people say that, he likes playing in the Garden, but he's not a New York guy. Listen, he's from St. Louis. It's a major city. Not the same hustle and bustle. D.C. is a smaller city compared to New York, of course. Not the same hustle and bustle. Maybe that's not his lifestyle. Maybe that's not what he wants. I've heard people say that he has downplayed New York. I don't know if he would, So this is just what I've heard other people say. I don't know if he would, though. If you have a chance to go to I don't know if most players in the league aren't going to downplay another team because they know there's a chance that they could go to that team. You know what I'm saying? But I think Beal wants to go to Miami, probably. I think that's his number one choice. I think Miami is going to want Bradley Beal, and I think they're going to make a real strong push to get Bradley Beal. They just made it to the NBA Finals. What would stop them from getting him? I don't think much. Now, could this end up being a three-team trade or something like that? It's possible. It's possible. I don't think the Knicks will be in that three-team trade, especially if a guy like Zach LaVine is available. You know what I'm saying? If Zach LaVine is available and it looks like Beal is going to Miami, I think the Knicks change gears that quick. That quick. and I think he moves on. Or they move on. Leon Rose moves on. Last thing I'll say is that if Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine or any of these guys are going to be moved, I feel there's a very good chance it happens at the draft. And the reason why is because you might want to try to get as much done as you can under the current rules. Now, I've heard that some things have been ushered in. I don't know exactly what, but you may try to get as much as you can done now under the current CBA instead of making moves under the new CBA. So that way, there may be certain things that are just grandfathered in because you did it now. For example, when the Knicks traded for Carmelo Anthony, now I don't mean to, take the bandage off of any wounds right now. But if you think back then when the Knicks traded for Carmelo, one of the reasons that Melo didn't just wait until free agency to sign with the Knicks is because there was going to be a new collective bargaining agreement. And he wanted to sign his contract before that new CBA went into effect. No one knew how. They were still negotiating that new CBA, but there were all these rumors and talks that salaries were really going to be lower and all of this kind of stuff. So Carmelo and his team, CAA, I think, were like, let's get this done for him now. Let's get this trade, get him extended. So that way his contract is grandfathered in. So they got it done before the CBA. And that was the big thing on why Melo, always the businessman, always about his money, was like, let's get this done now. Okay, if I ain't going in the Knicks, I'll go to Brooklyn. As long as I get my money grandfathered in. And I think you're going to see some of the same stuff now. Let's get this done during the draft. Let's get it done now before July 1st. That way there may be some things grandfathered in. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what, so, don't quote me as far as that. I'm just saying there may be some things. You know what I mean? There may be some things. That's why I expect a lot of stuff to go down or some things, this could be a league-shifting draft or something. Who knows? Who knows? So that's the last thing I'm going to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks, they've put their name in there for Bradley Beal. They're in the sweepstakes. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if they come away with Brad. I don't know if they're going to, but we'll see if they come away with Brad. Anyway, make sure you smash that like button for me, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that. All right, smash that like button. Hit them likes. Always helps. Leave comments. Always helps in the algorithms. Make the algies rock for me. All right. We're going to talk about a player that I think the Knicks should try to move up and get. Talking about the draft. But before we do, talk a little bit about Obi. Not much, just a little bit. Obi Toppin. I was about to call him Obi Hoppin. Obi Toppin. He joins Just Hoop trainer Chris Johnson. All right. It was announced on Chris Johnson's Instagram. And, Chris Johnson has trained LeBron James. I think he also trained the guy that we drafted last year. Can't think of his name right now, but I think he also did some training with him. What I hope that Obi Toppin does is work on his ability, well, defense, one, but work on his ability to create. You know what I'm saying? Obi hasn't really shown to me the ability to create a lot of shots. And, right now he's basically a transition guy, spot up for some threes, catch an alley-oop, blase, blase, blah. I think if Obi, well, first of all, he's got to get some playing time. Eventually, Obi's going to go to a team where he gets some playing time. But when he gets to that team, if he wants to continue to grow and go to the next level, he's going to have to learn how to create some of his own shots under pressure, in my opinion. And you've seen in the playoffs, when Obi had a couple of opportunities, he threw up some crazy stuff. Obi's good at surprising the defender, going off the dribble sometimes. The ball will swing to him, defender closes out, Obi goes by. The thing with Obi, he has just enough handle, in my opinion, that if he can get by his defender, he can get in the air. Now, once he gets in the air, Obi has a beautiful touch. You know what I mean? He has a beautiful touch once he gets in the air. As a matter of fact, I always say it. Obi he's the best finisher on this. Well, I don't know. Now we got Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson does a great job finishing too. But Obi does a really, really good job finishing when he gets to the rim. Has a soft touch. You know what I mean? Really, really, really soft touch. He squares up really well, in my opinion. Does a good job getting his shoulders square. Now, if he can find the footwork to be able to get around defenders, couple of jab steps and go. You know what I mean? Maybe he can turn into a guy that can do a little bit more one-on-one stuff. Right now, Obi's the guy that's not going to break the play. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to break it off and do his thing. He's going to get his shot within the offense. That's a good thing. But if you're going to go to the next level, sometimes you've got to be that guy that the team can depend on to create a shot, draw the defense, and do those things. And you don't have to be the best in the world at it, but you want to be able to do some of those things. But I'll say this. Obi's taking the hard way to the league, kind of. Well, not as hard as some, but, he took the hard way to get to college. 4 years in school, or it was 2 years, but he was older. So back that 2 years, but he was older. You know what I mean? It's been a different path, almost like Amari a little bit. Well, Amari came out, when he was in high school. But, Obi played in high school. Then he went to prep school. You know what I'm saying? Finally found his way to Dayton. And then he redshirted for a year. You know what I'm saying? All of these things made Obi a little bit older when he came out as a sophomore. I will say, though, I think he said he didn't dunk until he was like a senior. So maybe he's still growing and learning some things. You know what I mean? Maybe he's still growing and learning some things. Get with the right trainers and expand your basketball game. But Obi's got some new trainers to work with for the summer. We'll see how long he's working with them. You know what I mean? See how long he's working with them. Hopefully, they they make sure his diet is right. You know what I'm saying? You probably see the video down below where, my man Obi ordered a spicy chopped cheese on a Jamaican patty. The Aki way. The Aki way. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me this man, hopefully some of that weight goes to his legs. Look at his legs in that picture. It's always the dudes with the super skinny legs that can jump the highest, though. It's always. But man, Obi, you know what I'm saying? What a meal. Check out the video, ladies and gentlemen. This is Obi making the spicy chopped cheese Jamaican patty the Aki way.
Sir, may I help you today? Hey, yo, let me get a spicy chopped cheese on a Jamaican patty, but I want it the Aki way. Sure. Yo, Obi, first you throw the patties on the grill. Yo, then you hit it with the peppers. Then what we gotta do? Then you're gonna hit it with the beef bacon. Let's go, baby. Yo, I'm gonna put the mozzarella sticks in the fryer. And I'm gonna throw the hash brown on the grill. Now we chop it up. Yo, after you chop it up, you gotta season it up. Let's go, baby. Then we hit it with the cheese. Then we hit it with the bacon. And you hit it with the spinach, baby. Let's go. Once everything's ready, now we stack them up. Once everything's written out, we put on top of the paper. Now we wrap it up. And the result is... OMG.
Don't forget the Bev.
Never, never, never. Never, never, never.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. The spicy chopped cheese on a Jamaican patty. The Aki way. You can't tell me my man wasn't in the bathroom for all night long after that joint, but you know what I mean? You know, good to see, you know, Obi, Obi, you know, just, you know, repping his hood, man. That's always love out there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Super nice dude, Obi is. Super nice dude, no doubt about it. But hey, you know, he's getting the training in. Hopefully, he's eating right. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's eating right. Comes in tip-top shape and does what he has to do. Unfortunately, Obi may be one of the guys that gets moved. If the Knicks make a move for Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine or something like that, Obi might be one of those guys, you know. You always got to give up something to get something. You know what I mean? Got to give up something to get something. You know what I mean? Just saying. Okay, so Kerry Cox said, you don't have that in Maryland, trust me. I don't know if you don't have that exact thing, but there's enough. There's enough. I'm pretty sure in D.C. You can get one if you want one. You know what I mean? Trust me. It don't matter where you from. You're going to go to the bathroom after you eat that. You can trust that. Believe me, I know. Even though I don't eat bacon or beef, though. Anyway, last thing that I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is where the Knicks should be looking. Well, actually, let's get to a phone call then. We'll get to a phone call. Then we can talk about where the Knicks should be looking in the draft. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, what's going on, Sim? It's Nick from Jersey City.
Nick, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Doing well. Good NBA Finals. Happy for the off seasons here, though. Looking to see what the Knicks do.
Yeah.
I think this Beal move, though, might not be right. I can't envision what we do here that's going to not take away minutes from guys we want to see on the court or send those guys out in a trade. We want to see Grimes. We want to see Hart.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to have to give up quickly in any Beal deal.
Yeah.
Probably more than that. Barrett. He's 5 years older than Mitchell. It's basically like the poor man's Mitchell trade.
You're saying for Bradley Beal?
Yeah. I'm saying he's 5 years older than Donovan Mitchell, and I'd rather have Mitchell. And I thought that the Mitchell deal wasn't the right move for us. So, I think Beal is not the right move for us either.
Okay. So what would you rather see the Knicks do? I don't feel like it's the right move right now either. Mainly because of the contract, though. But
yeah.
What would you rather see the Knicks do in this offseason?
It's tough. I mean, they need to make a decision between Randall and Obi. I mean, they don't need to make that decision, but they probably will make that decision this offseason. And if they're going to move on from Obi, they're going to have to find somebody for backup four. I don't know what's going on with Porzingis. I know he's not a backup, but I think Porzingis can be signed. I mean, Fournier, Rose's money's coming off the books. Fournier's money is very tradable right now. His $18 million. We got the picks. We could make a low cost move here to bring in another rotation piece without really losing anyone significant. I think. Of course, then we're gonna have to expand the rotation to 10-man to make it worthwhile. I'm not sure what rotation piece we're in a rush to trade right now, and for who. So it's kind of a difficult thing to say. I think Jeremy Grant in Portland is a nice piece that could be had. I'd like to see him. I mean, I highly doubt the Knicks do this, but I think a front court of, if we're going to bring Randall back, a front court of Mitchell, Randall, Grant would be great. And then you put RJ at the bench, and he would excel on the bench with Hart. But really doubt they do that.
Yeah.
We need more defense at the 3 spot.
I agree. We definitely need defense and shooting. Defense and shooting at that 3 spot. You know, it's the Knicks are in a. I think they're in a good situation where if they can't find what they need, or what if they can't find a star player to add, then you can add some pieces, and you're still going to be competitive. And then you see, okay, can this squad get over the top? And you can add those pieces until that guy comes along. But let me ask you this, because every player that comes up, including myself, every player that comes up, as Knicks fans, no, that's not the one. That's not the one. Who's the one? Who's the one? Who's the guy?
Well, now we're talking about the best players in the league. I think I highly doubt these guys are going to be available this offseason. But I would go all in for SGA in Oklahoma City. Him next to Brunson would just be absolutely elite. I would go obviously Booker, but he's not going to be available. Luka, Giannis. I mean, these are all the elite guys, but guys like Kat and they're not worth the price. I think right now it's like the Knicks, like you just said, they could keep adding other guys, rotation pieces at a cheap rate, and a lot of those rotation guys, if we bring in people, like they're going to have trade value as well. If we were to, let's say, use Fournier's money to just sign a Jeremy Grant, Fournier and Rose's money and a pick or two, and we could bring in a guy like Grant or something like that. Now it's like, all right, well, we already added, we already have a logjam. We already have too much depth right now, but it's still a good problem to have. Because those guys could be traded in another trade as well. So I think that's the route that they should go if these superstar guys aren't available. And I don't think Beal and Karl Anthony Towns is it, or Lillard. Contracts are too big, too many question marks. And in the case of Lillard and Beal, I think maybe their best years are behind them already. I think Beal's still going to have a very good 5 years coming up. And I would hate to see him to go to Miami or Milwaukee, but it might be a blessing in disguise.
He's going to one of those. I think the Kings don't have a chance. I don't think the Kings have a chance. He'll probably be with either it's going to be between Miami, Milwaukee, and New York. And I think Miami's going to be, that's the top team that he's looking at probably.
Beal was the right move 2 years ago for the Knicks. Yeah. And now it's just kind of awkward. I think they're going to have to make a decision about Randall. I don't think they're going to trade him. I think that they're basically going in with the narrative that, hey, he was hurt in the playoffs, and basically his last 2 playoff performances are going to be forgiven, and then maybe next year is going to be third time's a charm.
That's it. That's it. I mean, that's how I feel. I'm at third time is. That's the charm. Like, hey, you got to get it right this time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've had twice. You went out there, you didn't perform. The first time was your first time in the playoffs. Now it's your second time in the playoffs. We advanced, but you gave us you gave us a couple of games here and there. Now, we need it to be where it's only been a couple of games that you didn't play well. We need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing's got to stop with him, and it's really undermining, what the Knicks could do. I think with Brunson. So I don't know if they do that though this offseason. It just doesn't seem right. I think they might run it back with the same 9-man rotation, and re-sign Hart. And honestly, a guy like Deuce coming in as if they go back to a 10-man, Tibbs did run a 10-man rotation his first 2 years here, and for the first quarter of this last season as well. So you come in and Deuce is the backup point guard, and Quickly's the backup 2, and Hart's the backup 3, and now you're back to a 10-man rotation. At least you make use of that depth. I think when you got the depth. You got to use it if that's your strength.
So I mean, I think they're probably not opposed to running it back, but I think they also are like, this is the time to strike. That's what I think. I think they're not opposed to it, but they also want to strike now. You know, because
it's really going to come down to Randall and RJ. I mean, that those are the two big pieces, and it's like, you know, they got to make a decision between Randall and Obi, and then they got to make a decision between Randall and RJ. And I don't know if they answer either of those questions this offseason.
So, okay, when you say a decision between Randall and RJ, what are you saying? So you're saying you can't have both of them.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you can have both of them, but you don't think they.
What's that?
You're saying you can have both of them, you know, financially and all of that, but you don't think they work well together. That's what you're saying.
I don't think they work well together, and I think that, you know, if you're going to make a big move for somebody, it's going to be for a starting forward, probably. You know, It's probably going to be for a starting three, or a starting wingman, and you know, I think Grimes is perfect in that 2 spot. I think, you know, he's last year was his second year. You know, he's going to come into his own. I think he's going to be much better, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now. Unbelievable defense right next to Brunson. You know, I don't think they really want to touch Grimes from that starting 2 spot. So now it's like, all right, well, if we're going out and bringing in a superstar, now we're thinking it's got to be either be and I feel the same way about Mitch, by the way. I feel like unless it's Embiid, they're not going to be in a rush to get rid of Mitchell Robinson. He's too important to the defense. He's too important to what they do, you know, schematically. Mm-hmm. So it's like Mitch and Grimes are kind of safe at the 5 and the 2 spot. It really comes down to, let's go get a starter. Either Randall or RJ is going to be involved in that trade probably just to make the trade happen. And then if they're not involved in the trade, one of them's going to be on the bench, which I would prefer. You know, it makes the Knicks better that way if they keep one of them, if they can keep both of them in a trade. But you know, one of them is going to be unhappy coming off the bench.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
for bringing the start.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Nick, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you for the call.
Take care.
All right, take care. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see. Hey, you know, I got some time. If you want to give me a call, 516-362-5212. Give me a call. My man Fly God the third, a.k.a. C-Mac, says Sim's going to order the veggie chopped cheese with vegan cheese and goat milk, the Aki way. No, I'm not going to order that. I just ordered, you know, chicken over rice with white sauce and veggies. That's what I order. That's my meal. Get to another phone call here. Caller, you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
How you doing? It's Jamal from Jersey.
What's going on, Jamal? How you feeling, man?
Not too bad. Just chiming in on these New York Knicks of ours that we love.
Yeah, what you thinking, man?
I'm thinking, I just think we kind of traumatized. We so focused on help coming from external instead of internal. I think we need to focus more on the growth of our guys, Grimes, Q, and all of these guys, and add small pieces, bits and pieces that could help. I mean, if the iron is hot, then strike, but a lot of these guys that's being rumored to be available, I think is not it. I don't think Bill is $30 million better than the production we can get from Grimes and RJ and these guys combined. And it's debatable if Cat is better than Randall straight up. And his contract compared to Randall's, I think the only guy that's worth really taking a risk on, that's the super high risk, high reward, is Zion. And I understand the weight issues, the immaturity, but I think he was the best player on Duke, but RJ was the alpha. And I think possibly pairing him back with RJ and give him some love and some guidance could help him. I think the reward is worth the risk more so than these other guys that I'm hearing.
Okay,
we're rumored to be linked to.
All right, but you're not. I mean, are you afraid though of just the history, the injury history? I'm not worried about all the other stuff. The injury history.
Very, very afraid. That's why I said it's the biggest risk, but it's also the biggest reward, because when he do play, he's proven. I mean, he's what, 22 years old
22?
and weigh 300. I mean, you got to think 3 or 4 years from now, but I just don't see nothing else being worth the risk. I mean, Bill, no trade clause, $57 million.
I mean, nah, I think that's crazy.
Cat, Dame, I mean, and I think the thing that get lost is that you lose your young players on the way during this process if you keep constantly knocking them to the side and that giving them the chances to grow. By the time they have a chance to get out, it's not about money no more. They just want an opportunity somewhere else because of the way they've been done the previous 3-4 years.
Right. You know what the hard thing is right now is everybody that we can name has flaws. They all have flaws. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're going to point them out, right? They all have flaws. There's not a player that we can name out there that we can – there's only a couple of players. I'll say that. There's 3 or 4 players that you can name that you say if that person is on this team, we're a championship contender. And even those guys have flaws. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at Jason Tatum. I think you add Jason Tatum to this team, you know, you're probably in contention, right? He's got flaws. How many times was his heart questioned throughout the playoffs when they were down 0-3? You know, Jaylen Brown, flaws. Joel Embiid, flaws. Maybe Jokic is maybe the only guy. You know?
Yeah, let me ask you, though, if I just, do you think it'd be weird to back off the Spider trade for obvious reasons and then like to go all in on a Bill or a LaVine or all these guys with the price you're going to have to pay? And when he's younger, he's more proven, he's been in the playoffs every year. Like, to me, that just don't make no sense.
Nah, I get it. I get it. You know, Donovan Mitchell's contract is, at least right now, much better than, you know, all these guys we're mentioning, right? But, you know, at the time when I think the Knicks would have a chance to get him, he's going to be looking for a new contract. And you're going to have to pay him that amount of money.
Right. But he's at least been playing basketball. He's been playing winning basketball and leading the franchise at least.
He has.
You know, guys
no doubt about
the
it.
Wizards franchise, Minnesota franchise got a certain sense that might not be
right
what you need, if you know what I mean.
Right. Because Donovan Mitchell, I mean, Utah, they was in the playoffs every year. Cleveland, it was in the playoffs last year. And his contract is right now 23 for next year. He makes 33.1. The year after that, 35.4. Then there's a player option, which we're pretty sure he's going to opt out of that player option, 25, 26. You would think that at the end of next season, if Cleveland feels like Donovan Mitchell is going to opt out and leave in free agency, they're going to move him. I think they give it this season, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they give it this season to see if they can really convince him to stay. And if he gives them the word like, yeah, I'm here, I'm going to stay here, then he's there. But if they get that feeling that I'm leaving and I'm going to New York, and that's going to be the question. Do you want to leave and go to New York? That's going to be the question they would ask him. If I was a GM, I would straight up ask him at that point, do you want to leave and go to New York? Because if so, we're going to make a move now. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even wait. Now, I'd make a move. So I'm looking at the end of next season, you know, in that summer between the end of next season and the beginning of the summer between 23-24 and 24-25, that offseason, he may be on the move. And so are you saying the Knicks should just maybe fill in a couple of pieces this summer and then wait for Donovan, wait to see if they can get Donovan next summer?
I think I would like that more so than making a bad move that feel like a makeup because you didn't get Donovan. Okay. Now you're ready to appease everybody and willing to do everything. And adding to that, I think you have to be careful about who you bring in the locker room around these young, impressionable kids. We're a workhorse team.
Mm-hmm.
You already manage Randall. You can't bring no more Mercurial or loser mentality guys around these guys. I don't want them around these guys.
Right.
And that's things that you can't really measure on court and stuff, but it's important.
Right. No, I hear you. No doubt about it. I mean, I agree. We got to be very careful because with all we feel and people feel about Randall and his attitude and things like that, this Knicks team seems to have good chemistry. Right? And
it works.
It works, and they win their way. Like it or not, they win their way. You do have to be careful on who you're bringing in because one person you bring in could tear down everything that you built. You know what I mean?
One more point, if I may. I think one of the things that made Brunson work so well with us is because he's a lunch pail guy. He's not a guy that'll put Randall off and have Randall all up in arms. Brunson is one of the guys. And I think that helped the locker room, the overall culture tremendously. And I'll leave it at that.
Right. No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But I think we need one of those guys, though, that not is going to mess up the culture, but is not afraid. We don't need all nice guys on the team. You know, I think we do need one of those guys that's not afraid to keep each other in check. You know, and but doing it in the right way. You know what I mean? Don't have to be, you know, hollering and arguments and all that kind of stuff, but doing it in the right way. But I do feel like we need someone that can, you know, help keep the players just playing on the edge. I don't remember who. It might have been Tom Thibodeau, you know, who was talking about, you know, adversity and things like that. And I don't want to use the word dissension, but you need a little bit of button head sometimes to keep you on edge. You understand what I'm saying? You know, not a lot, but just a little bit that keeps you on edge and ready to go out there and perform. If everybody's just super duper nice, you know, I don't know. I think the Knicks need someone who's not afraid to hold their teammates accountable.
So you want to see some Draymond Poole action?
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I mean, we almost had it with Obi and RJ.
Which was shocking.
Yeah, right. You know, I'd rather see some Udonis Haslem. I mean, I know he was going to fight Jimmy Butler a little while ago, but not that Udonis. Just the guy that's, you know, no one's going to mess with and they're going to listen to him.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, Jamal, appreciate your time, man.
No problem. Take it easy.
Appreciate it. Take it easy, bro. Peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks do need somebody like that. You know what I mean? I don't know who and where you get him from. You know, the thing about Udonis Haslem with the Miami Heat is he's been there. He's from Miami. He's been there for all of these years. You know what I'm saying? You can't help but to respect Udonis Haslem if you go to Miami. You know, can't help but to respect him. Let me get to this phone call, and then we'll go on. Call it, you're live.
James.
Tell me your name and where you're from.
Hey, how you doing? This is James from Brooklyn.
James, what's going on with you, brother? How you feeling?
Good, man. Can't complain. Wanted to talk some Knicks real quick.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So definitely one thing that I'm thinking about is an Obi trade. And I wanted to know what you feel about this potential trade. It would be real simple. It would be Obi Toppin and D. Jeffries for the 26th pick from Indiana, 29th pick, Indiana, and maybe a second if we could swing it. What do you think?
I mean, it's something that I would do it, I think.
But do you think Indiana would do it?
I don't know. You know, the thing is, you know, they may be looking to find a power forward in the draft as well, you know. I think it's going to depend on where things fall in the draft And, if they get down there and they're like, all right, you know what? We didn't get a power forward that we want. I think Obi. I think we can get Obi. Let's get Obi. Let's talk with the Knicks, see if we can get Obi. I think it would be a good spot for him. I could see him and Tyrese Halliburton having good connection. Possibly, hopefully he would get a chance to start.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think that could be a good move for him and a good move for the Knicks, possibly. If they're shuffling some things around.
Because I definitely want the Knicks to get in the draft, and on top of that, I'm a real big fan of this kid Tristan Vucevic from overseas. I saw him killing these guys during the summer league, man, and he has a real good jumper.
Never heard of him. I'm gonna have to go check him out.
He's a second round though, sleeper, complete sleeper.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, so you're saying he's a second round guy. So the Knicks could pick up a second round pick because they don't have one this year. They could make a move with Indiana or Charlotte or even someone else, get a second round pick and scoop this guy up. Because I have a guy I want to talk about that I think the Knicks should try to move into the draft to get to.
I mean, for sure, definitely. I mean, the 26th and the 29th pick is just to add to the draft treasure chest.
Mm-hmm.
If we say want to go after a Zach LaVine or a Bradley Beal, I'm actually a fan of more on the Zach LaVine side.
Yeah,
just due to how the contract is just set up.
Now, okay, so you said both of those. I don't know if Indiana would do both of those picks for Obi. They might do one. I don't know if they would do both.
So it's Obi and D Jeff, which is he's a somewhat of a role player, an energy guy. Just throw him in.
Right. Oh, I mean Obi and DeQuan Jeffries you're talking about, right?
Correct, yes.
Right. I still don't know if they do 2 firsts for it. I think they will give you a first for Obi. They will give you one of those late first round picks. If you was doing Obi and quickly, they might. But I don't know if I would.
I'm not moving quickly for nothing. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I would do quickly in there.
I'm definitely not moving quickly for anything, but definitely if we could get Obi over there and get a pick, maybe not 2, but I'm talking about maybe a first and a second, or at least a second, because the whole goal is to flip the pick.
I see.
The pick that we get from them is to flip it and get into the second round, because we don't really need guys that are going to come in here and try. We need as many role players right now as possible, because right now we want to trade for a star. I don't think we'll find a star in the second round if we get lucky, which is why I actually brought up Vucevic's name, because his game is similar to a Jokic, a little baby Jokic, except that he's skinny. If you really watch his tape.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it. I'm gonna check him out. Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey James, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you too, bro. Have a good one.
Peace. Yeah, Sherwin, I see you, man. I see you, Sherman. I was with Big Freezy earlier, and Sherman said the same thing. Indiana already said that they're not going to give up a first for Obi. I haven't seen that anywhere. Now, I don't know if you're talking about the Indiana Pacers or are you talking about their chat? Because I know, you know what I'm saying, you've been talking about other teams' chat a lot and then saying it's the team saying it. You know what I mean? Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Ben, this is Jay from Washington Heights.
Jay, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm just listening, and the only thing I wanted to say is that I don't know why, but regardless, even if we don't have a pick, it would be just nice to watch another draft maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when the front office was wheeling and dealing, when we were going back and forth with picks and we just getting surprises, you know what I mean? As the night kept going. That's all I want, and it would be amazing just to see what else Leon got. That's it.
So I mean, you're saying with the draft, you want to see the Knicks doing some wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I really want some a real good star that's going to help them benefit us to advance ahead. But what I'm saying is, if he can be as creative to work what we have that's not on the floor,
Right.
and move things around, and at the same time get some talent from maybe the second round. Oh man, that would be great.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
would be
listen,
great.
I think you're gonna see those guys do some wheeling and dealing though. They're a creative front office. You know, they're really creative, like you're saying, just with how they manage the books, understanding moves to make that's gonna set them up for future moves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're gonna see this front office doing some moves. They're not gonna be quiet during the draft. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the draft with Deuce. That draft when he was moving around, and Joe Vidas was part of that draft as well. Even though we haven't really seen anything, maybe that might come up during the draft. We don't know.
Yeah.
So that would be great.
Yeah. We'll
That's it.
see.
I wanted to give my 2 cents.
I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, Jay from Washington Heights. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Right, peace.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Let's talk about Keyontae Johnson. All right. Actually, I gotta get this guy on the line first, and then we can talk about Keyontae Johnson. Big Bubba.
What's going on, sir?
What's popping with you, man? Listen. When we get to the cookout.
I knew this is the thing you was gonna say.
When we get to the cookout.
What's going on, man?
First of all, I got the fire department on. I got them on. I'm already tapped in. I'm tapped in. Okay. No
we don't
spice.
need that. We good.
I'm tapped in. No spicy chopped cheese Jamaican patties. All right. None of those. What's good with you, man? Oh,
Nothing.
and I don't know. Your girl told me that bookshelf is a little rickety.
First of all, it's funny enough because she was talking junk about it, but
See,
it's good though.
It's a little rickety. It's a little.
Oh no. She just mad because everybody like it. It's okay.
Who's everybody?
She just being
your mom. Who's everybody? Your mom?
Everybody likes him, man. First and foremost, Sam, I just want to say happy birthday to my little sis, your daughter. Happy birthday to her.
Yeah, birthday was yesterday, man. She turned 21 years old.
Well, I told her, I forgot. I told her today, yeah, I forgot. Happy birthday to her. I just want to say that.
That's all that counts. That's all that counts.
We're going to have a good time, man. I'm on the grill, everybody, so everybody come out. I'm on the grill. My girl might be selling some books. We're going to have a good time, son.
She going to be selling some books so she could buy a new bookshelf.
First of all, the bookshelf came out. I'm bringing the bookshelf. I just want you to know that. I'm bringing the bookshelf, and you're going to see.
Oh, please bring it. Wrap it up in bubble wrap. Wrap it up in bubble wrap just to make sure the potholes don't bust it open.
Man, I'm bringing the bookshelf, man. But
yeah, bring it, please.
Listen, man. It's gonna be a crazy offseason, son. It's gonna be a crazy offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I want the Knicks to do.
All right, what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do?
Me personally, everybody's looking at Bradley Beal. Some people are looking at, I personally don't want Bradley Beal just because of the contract, and I think it's a little too much. I'm looking for the other dudes in Washington, son. I'm looking for either KP.
Okay.
I'm looking at Kyle Kuzma.
Okay.
I really prefer Kyle Kuzma, honestly.
Okay.
I think Kyle Kuzma is a great piece. Shouldn't be too much. He's probably looking for. I know he's opting out of his contract, so I know he's making $13 million.
Making 13.
He's probably
he's going to opt out of that. There's no doubt.
So I see him in the range of getting 20 to 27 million, and I'm comfortable with that with Kyle Kuzma. I think he's a great player. I think he's exactly what we need. A 6'9" wing. He could defend. He could hit big shots. We've seen him do it. He dropped 40 on us. I think that'd be a great move for us. I think that would make us a big lineup again with him in the starting five. And I would really love that kind of move for the Knicks. I'm looking for moves like that. Or if we bring back KP, I think KP wants to come back. I mean, from certain interviews you see from him, he kind of regrets how things went. He never revealed that big thing, even though we kind of all thought that was cap. I think he wants to come back, man. I would be happy to have him come back. I think he'd be exactly what we need for a stretch 5. And we've seen him play in the playoffs. He's producing the playoffs.
Are you worried about his defense? Downgrading Mitch's defense to his defense. Obviously, you upgrade the scoring. No doubt about it. You upgrade the scoring. Are you worried about that? Because, I agree. Our offense would get so much better because of his ability to spread the floor. But would you be worried about the defense?
I would a little bit because KP isn't the same KP, as we all know, from back when he was playing with us. But sometimes you got to have a little bit of sacrifice him. And
I think he's worse defensively.
Yeah, he did get worse.
Because of his knee injuries. I think he's worse.
So that's the tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Kyle Kuzma, you said $27 million. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah. I thought I heard hang up or something. $27 million. I mean, if he's making $27 million,
that would be his max.
If he's making $27 million, he's going to come in and he'll be making more than Brunson, more than RJ, more than Randall.
Well, sometimes it pays. It costs. Well, Kyle, he's an NBA champion. He was a crucial part to the NBA champion, we know. And that's probably that's kind of the going rate for wing players of his caliber.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. So, but I do think you can find a good medium with him. I don't think it has to be 27. I think the max would be 27. If they could get him for 23.
Well, not his max, but the most that you would pay him.
Yeah. The most I would pay him was 27 million. That's the highest I would go. But I think you get a happy medium with Kyle Kuzma. I think you could get maybe 25, 24 million.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could definitely do that. And if he does come to New York, I think he's going to get plenty of endorsements. So I think we can meet a good medium for him.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't mind Kyle Kuzma. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind Kyle Kuzma. I do think that he would fit, pretty good at that 3 spot. And he can play the 3 and the 4. You know what I'm saying? He's 27 years old. Just going to be moving into his prime. I wouldn't mind a Kyle Kuzma.
And Sim, think about this. In 2 years, you're going to get Donovan Mitchell.
But here's the thing. How do you get Kyle Kuzma? Because if he opts out, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, right? The Knicks don't have the money. So how you getting him?
Well,
sign and trade?
Well, this is Evan Fournier.
So, but
Evan Fournier, D Rose.
But can the Knicks, if the Knicks go into this offseason, July 1st, they're over the cap. Can they even execute a sign and trade?
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know.
Right. That's something we'd have to find. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it and see if they can even execute one because they'll be over the cap by $18 million. Right? The salary cap, projected salary cap is 134. Right now, the Knicks next season are at 152. Now, they don't have to pay luxury tax, but they'll be over the cap, which limits things that they can do in free agency. Would they even be able to execute a sign and trade? They might have to execute that sign and trade before. So that's why I'm saying the draft, a lot of things could happen during the draft.
Yeah, because honestly, though, if I would say this, if that's what the case is, then I'm gonna assume Washington knows he's not coming back,
mm-hmm.
and they're allowed the Knicks to talk to him and be like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do. Boom, boom, boom. We gotta." And we all know everybody has a contract before free agency starts. We all know it.
Of course, right? Right.
They have the draft of the contract. Kyle Kuzma cool with it during draft. They trade Evan Fournier, probably Derrick Rose.
Well,
probably give back.
But at that point, he's only making $13 million, so they'd only have to trade.
Yeah.
They trade Derrick Rose, and then Derrick Rose would have to re-up with Washington. I don't know if they would want to do that.
Or they let him go. or buy him out.
Or it would be Kyle. It would be something like Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin for Kyle Kuzma.
Which I'm cool with, honestly.
It would have to be something like that.
To be perfectly honest with you, son, I'm more fine with Obi Toppin going. Trade Obi Toppin, give him a good fresh start in Washington. They're going to be tanking. He gets all the minutes he can get. And honestly, and to keep it even more about, it's not a big move for Obi Toppin as well.
Right. Now,
he doesn't have to really up and move his family too far.
Yeah, it would have to be more like, because Quickly and Obi's too much. I don't know if I would do both of them. Obi and then another guy, to match the salaries.
Well, I would probably do Obi, maybe McBride, and give back Washington their first round pick, and maybe throw in a couple of second rounders.
I mean, but you still got to match the money. That's the thing. You still got to match that money because Obi only makes $6.8 million next season. Everybody else, is, Quickly's 4.1, Quentin Grimes 2.3, Jericho Sims 1.9. You know what I mean?
You might have to throw in Jericho Sims as well.
I think
there's a way you can make it all work. I really do believe that. I think there's a way to make it all work.
There's a way to make it work. I just don't want to give up, too much.
Yeah. Because if you're telling me next year we got a starting lineup of Brunson, RJ, Kuzma, Randall, and Mitch, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get you to. I don't know if that gets you to the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe it gets you closer though.
I think it does. Well, I'll say this. I think it gets you to the Eastern Conference Finals if you change a few things of how you move the ball. And we're going to talk about. I know we got a whole summer to talk about how the offense should change a little bit. I feel like the offense should change, but I think you can get some stuff, man. And I think, and also too, since that wouldn't be the only move because, and then you got Josh Hart coming off the bench. You got some other things, but me, Sam, I'm not looking for the big guys. I'm not looking for Bill and those guys. I'm just not. I'm good on Bradley Beal. I think $250 million. That's way too much, and I don't know, man. Bill, when I remember the last time he was even in the playoffs, I can't bet on that. Again, man, I'm looking for KP too, man. I want both, to be honest with you, Tim. Yeah, I really do. We're probably not going to get both, but either way, I'll be happy.
I'm not the craziest about KP. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, no, I understand that because to me, it is still always going to be the injury thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. All the stuff in the history of him in the Knicks, I'm not worried about that. It's the injury stuff. That's what I'm worried about most. The Knicks have been a team.
Because I think he's due too, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's due for a contract.
Well, he has a player option, right? He has a player option, and if he opts into the contract, he'll get paid $36 million next season. If he opts out,
what's crazy, Tim?
He's opting in. He's opting in because he's not going to get.
Yeah, he has to opt in.
Yeah,
because he's not going to get $36 million again.
No, I don't think so.
Well, Sim, here's an interesting thing. So.
Hit him up. Said Big Bubba didn't want Donovan Mitchell either. He ain't lying. You didn't.
Hey.
And he cooked this year.
Now let me say something. Can I say something?
Yep.
No, I didn't want that. I'm not going to go back on my word. I didn't want Donovan Mitchell. But if Donovan Mitchell's going to come here for what I call quote unquote free, which means he's going to be a free agent, and he can choose to come here, I'm not opposed to that.
Okay. I mean, that's, a couple years away.
Yeah. I mean, again, and listen, I know everybody's seen the picture with him and Allen Houston at the golf course. And we all heard the rumblings about how it's pretty much he just wants to come to New York. I mean, Sam, I'm honest with you. I'm waiting. I'm not suckering myself into getting Donovan Mitchell here any sooner. If he wants to come here on his own, let him do that.
Okay.
I don't want to trade for Donovan Mitchell when it's almost certain he's coming here.
Would you move for Zach LaVine?
I'm good on Zach LaVine.
Why?
man. Zach LaVine.
Just asking you why. I just want to know why.
So Zach LaVine is in this category with Randall and all them guys. I don't know if Zach LaVine's on this team, he makes us better. I really don't.
If you wait a minute, if you're adding him to Brunson, RJ, and Randall, he makes us better. If Kyle Kuzma makes us better, Zach LaVine makes us better.
So see, this is where I'm going to disagree with you, Sam. I think Kuzma's a better fit than Zach LaVine.
Why?
Well, one, we need a big wing. We haven't had a big wing in a long time, and I just think he's better defensively than Zach LaVine. And I'm more comfortable with switching with Kuzma than Zach LaVine.
The thing that I would I think that Zach LaVine can play. I think that Zach LaVine can play some defense. I'm not going to say he's a lockdown defender. I'm not saying that, but I think he can. I think he has the tools to play defense, and he can play defense.
I think he does. I think he does have the tools. I won't sit here and say he doesn't, and he does hit big shots.
Like
just for me,
I was going to say, like Steph always says, what you see in Chicago doesn't mean that's what you're going to get in New York.
That is true, Sam. But you're banking on a change of scenery to make the person, just to kind of what Steph's saying, you're banking on the change of scenery. Again, I will say this: when they did have Lonzo, and praying for Lonzo, man, just for that dude just to have regular life.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was better.
Mm-hmm.
The Chicago team overall defense was better.
And he was part of that.
He was. I won't sit here and say he was. They were a tough team.
Yeah.
I was jealous of the Bulls for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know, Sam. It's just the money, man. Also, too, that's the thing, because I still want to make more moves because, look, in my mind, I'm thinking 2 seasons ahead. I think of Donovan Mitchell, too. I want to fit all these contracts in there so that we have a great team.
Right.
But when Donovan does come here.
Right. So when Donovan does come here whose defense is better, Donovan Mitchell or Zach LaVine? Because that was one of the reasons. Mitchell. That was one of the reasons you didn't want Donovan Mitchell. You said he don't play no defense. That's what you told me. He don't play no defense. I don't want Donovan Mitchell here. He don't show up in the playoffs. He can't do this. He can't do that.
Oh, no. Whoa. I'd never say he didn't show up in the playoffs.
Yes, you did. Because we can go back and get that. You was arguing.
Please don't get that one, because he averages like 28 points in the playoffs.
I had to tell you that.
Man, Sim, I need to chat. No.
I had to tell you that.
Please find him, Sim. So you know what we got to do one day, Sim? I would love to do this. I would love one day out December, we do a reaction video to one of our old videos. That'd be funny, man.
All I'm saying, I had to tell you that.
Sim, I want to find. We go find. Chat, please tell me the video, please. In the comments, tell me what video it was, because I would love to hear that.
Yeah, I had to tell you that. You go, oh, yo, he scored some points, but look what happened. He didn't play no defense.
Okay.
That's why Brunson was doing this. And he ain't shooting the big, his efficiency is bad. He ain't showing up. That's what you kept saying.
Hey, Sim, to be fair, he ain't show up in this series against the Knicks.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you kept saying. Listen, I don't know, man.
Anyway.
Zach, I think, listen, man, 25 points a game, 37% from the three-point line, 48% from the field. I think he gives you the shot creation that you need. I'm a little bit worried about the contract. Last couple of years, he's been healthy, 77 games this year, 67 games. I mean, for the most part, he's only had 2 seasons where he didn't play majority of the games. Every other season, he's played majority of his games.
Yeah. Yes, and so
it is the contract, though. He's got a high contract.
So that's my big thing, right? My thing, at least with Kyle Kuzma, like I said, his cap is $27 million. What's that? $100-something million. maybe 120 or whatever how they do it.
But the thing is he ever going to be what you want him to be? He's 27 years old too, and so is Zach LaVine. Kyle Kuzma.
He's 27? I thought he was going to be younger.
Nah.
He's 27.
So is he going to reach? Because we need a closer, another closer on this team.
People are going to be mad at me what I'm about to say.
What you about to say?
I think we got him on the team.
Huh?
I think we got him on the team already.
Who?
Oh, man, I'm about to get in trouble.
Who?
RJ Barrett.
I mean, maybe one day. Maybe one day. I don't know about right now.
I'm gonna say this, Sim, and I'm gonna say it right now.
Okay.
I think with this playoff series and him seeing what he can do against a NBA Finals team, I think this is the switch. I think this is the year.
Yeah, but then you're doing everything. You're doing everything. Like you said, yeah, but now you're counting on him to have a change of scenery, talking about Zach LaVine. Now you're counting on this switch to go off.
Well, Sammy, people get played better when they play in the playoffs.
But you're still counting on this switch to go off that it's going to
I'm counting
carry
on
over.
It.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, RJ's probably not going anywhere. You can make other moves to get these guys. It's possible, let's say that, because of the contracts of Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose, which help these other teams to relieve salary for the next few years. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible, at least financially, to get these guys and keep RJ in the fold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, right now, so the contracts are good for the Knicks. We got the pick. And I think this – I want to see the Knicks be aggressive this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, because I think if you do the right moves, you don't have to make the splashiest moves. If you do the right moves, which the Knicks, to be fair, with Leon Rose, have been doing lately. You're talking about you can go a few plays here, a few plays there, and a certain players hitting the shots and stuff. You're in the Eastern Conference Finals at least. Bare minimum, you're in the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
Okay.
If you would have made, if things would have went a certain way, but if you have certain players.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The door is open for the Knicks to add some pieces to get there. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this, because I asked the last caller too. Then I'm going to let you go so you can tighten up that bookshelf.
But the bookshelf is tight.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to see the bookshelf. I can't wait.
I seen a picture of it. I think that's all I need to see. But there's no perfect players out there in this league right now. Just about every player that you can name is flawed.
Yeah, every player.
So then who do you add? You're not going to get that perfect player. If you name a player, you can point out a flaw.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah.
So then what do you do? If every single player has a flaw, what do you do? A flaw that you know, every single person, once you name a player, that guy, he don't play no defense. This guy's not healthy. This guy can't shoot. This guy's contract is too big. What do you do?
And I heard the last caller, someone said Joker. Joker don't play no defense to his ability.
See, there you go. So you wouldn't take him on your team?
Oh, no, you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Okay, all right, I'm just saying.
I think he's the most gifted center since Shaq.
Okay.
He's the most gifted center since Shaq. That's, you know, that is what it is.
But we're not getting. But listen, Jokic is not going to be available.
No, he ain't going nowhere.
Right?
Never
for years. Ever until he's old, maybe. Who knows? But he's probably not going to be available. So who you getting then? Who are you getting?
This off season?
Any off season. Who are you getting?
I mean, if you're talking to me about any choice, I would probably go Giannis or Giannis. Probably that would be my number one choice. Honestly,
I mean, you
if I could have it my way, I'd pick Giannis.
I mean, but you think we're getting Giannis? I'm saying the people that we can actually get
Oh, realistic? No, okay,
Realistically,
okay.
Giannis, I mean, you're not getting him without a fight.
Yeah,
right?
it would have to go down bad in Milwaukee for that to happen.
Right. So realistically speaking, besides Jokic, Giannis.
Oh, I mean, realistically,
like,
I think Donovan Mitchell is number one, realistically. For the Knicks, realistically, Donovan Mitchell.
So the guy that you didn't want now is the guy that you're saying we go get.
Well, I'm being realistic. Yeah, Donovan. It would be probably Donovan Mitchell. Because again, it's no big secret. He wants to be here. That's the worst kept secret in the NBA.
I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, it makes it tough because everybody out there has got some kind of a flaw. You know what I mean?
No, to be fair, and I'm going to say,
I think you got to look and say, yeah, this guy has flaws, but I can take these strengths and we can use these strengths and find a way to cover up the flaws.
But that's also something about picking a team around him to cover up flaws, right? So again, for me, right, son, if the Knicks are really big on getting Donovan Mitchell, if you're gonna play too short, then the rest of the starting five has to be big. Pause. They have to be a big lineup for that to work, or great two-way players, because you have to have great two-way players. You're gonna have Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell as your backcourt.
Right. I mean, I feel you. I'm just saying that if there's something available, I guess the question is, if there's something that you can do right now, do you wait for Donovan Mitchell? I guess that's the question.
Because this is why I'm really big on.
See, here we go.
Getting. What happened?
None. Go ahead.
So this is why I'm really big on getting the guys like Kyle Kuzma and those kind of guys, to me, that play defense, that can still get his own shot and still get his own role. Because when you have a guy like that that's a 6'9", 6'10", small forward / power forward, and then who's gonna be on a reasonable contract, and then you got a lot of these guys' contracts are descending. You can add Donovan Mitchell, and you have options to play with in that lineup. Change it up if you want to.
Yeah.
And you can have a tall lineup. And then to me, you would have, realistically, right? You would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You maybe have 4 to 5 guys that can get their own shots and on a team. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know, Big Bubba. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway,
I do know this though, Sam. I need everybody to come out because I'm gonna be on that grill cooking and get your plate.
Bring your fire suits too. Bring your fire suits.
You don't gotta bring your fire suits, everybody. I'm gonna be good.
Come on out to the cookout. Big Bubba's gonna be on the grill and all that.
And listen, if everybody don't buy a book, we're gonna tussle. I need everybody buy a book and support my baby business.
All right, well,
or we gonna tussle.
Yeah, we don't want to know what kind of book's gonna be there. Don't tell us right now.
Man,
I don't know what kind of book's gonna be there. Anyway, Big Bubba, I appreciate you, man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
All right, I'm out of here.
Right,
well, you're out of here. I'm still on. Peace.
Okay.
All right, peace. Danny Thomas, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on trading Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier for Gordon Hayward? I mean, that's not my first move. You know what I mean? Not my first move at all. My first move is to try to use those two contracts to bring in another player. You know what I mean? Bring in a star-type player and all of that. If I can. I will say, I mean, I guess it doesn't. You'd be using them for a year, right? So I don't understand why Charlotte would do the trade. If you're just talking about trading Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose for Gordon Hayward straight up, unless they feel like they like Evan Fournier or one of those, I don't know why they would do the trade because their contracts end at the same time. Now Gordon Hayward, if he's healthy, he would add something to you if he's healthy. But I think my first thing is to try to use those guys to get somebody else. That's my first inclination. You know what I mean? To use those guys to get somebody else. All right, let's get to I want to get to this young guy, this guy in the draft, man, Keyontae Johnson. I think the Knicks should move up in the draft and try to pursue this kid. He's 23 years old, 6'5". He has a 7-foot wingspan, ladies and gentlemen. All right, he's a gritty type of player. 239 pounds. And I'm going to do a bigger breakdown on his play later on. I just wanted to introduce him, but I'm going to do a bigger breakdown on who he is later on. He could be a guy that right now, people say he's going to go around 15 in the draft. I think the Knicks could move up into that spot, around that area, Charlotte, Indiana. There's some other guys. I think this is a guy that's going to make a roster. All right? He's not a guy that's going to jump out of the building or just have like this super duper amazing speed. But with his long arms, he's good defensively. All right? He has some ability to create a shot. He can shoot the three. He shoots 40.5% from the three-point line, 51.6% from the field. Obviously, this was college. This is what he did last season at Kansas State. He battles defensively. And above all, I think this young man has it up here. I think he's mentally tough. You know what I'm saying? And he's a guy that I think can fit the Knicks system. He can give you shooting. Right? And he can grow in the system. You know what I'm saying? You pick this guy up. I don't even think he would have to spend a year in the G League. I think that he might be able to come in and at least get a roster spot. And one day, possibly get into the rotation. The history of this young man, 3 years ago, playing for Florida, he collapsed on the court. You can see him collapse right there. December 12th, 2020, while playing for the Florida State Seminoles. He collapsed. He had to, they weren't sure if this young man was going to come back and play basketball again. And I don't know all the particulars. Like I said, I'm going to do a deeper breakdown on him and his game. I don't know all the particulars about why he collapsed, but I'll have it during that breakdown. Right? But he had to fight to make it back. He had to fight to get back. That's toughness. You know what I mean? And it gives you a different respect for the basketball game. When you have to go through something like that and make it back and fight back. But he's a good basketball player. Tough. And I think he fits. I think he would fit this organization. I think he would fit the style of basketball that the Knicks play. And you can get him low in the, you can get him in the second round, late in the second round. And he may surprise some people. Listen, if the Knicks don't get him, he's going to be on a roster, I think. I really do. I believe this guy's going to be on the roster. You know what I'm saying? He's been cleared by the NBA. He's been cleared by the NBA, because of his health. That's the reason he's so low, not because of his ability or talent or skill. You know what I mean? And I see someone say, yeah, he's already 23. He is. That's okay. I don't know if the Knicks have to, in the position that they're in right now, do they have to go get guys that are just 19 years old? I don't think so. I think you can get a guy like this who's a little bit older and can possibly give you some minutes. I think you can afford to do that. And you don't have to worry about, developing. I mean, you're going to still develop him, but you don't have to worry about the guy being 19 years old and does he develop, coming back and forth from the G League. You know what I mean? I think an older guy like this can come in and give you some production. And we're at this point right now with the Knicks where, especially with our salary cap the way it is, we may need to find guys in the draft that can give us, if we're going to get into the draft, give you production right now. And I think he might be one of them, even though he's going to be a second-round pick. Or maybe he even falls out the draft and goes undrafted. You know what I'm saying? Keep Turner said you just don't see interest from the Knicks in him. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know they're probably going to be looking for wings. Wings that can defend, wings that can shoot. And I think with the way that the Knicks play, guys that have the grit and grind that he has can be successful. We'll see. You know, and the Knicks may not have interest in him, but I think they should have interest in this guy. I think they should. I think this guy is going to make it to the league and, make a team one of these days. You know what I mean? Now, how do the Knicks get there? They'd have to either buy a second-round pick or find a way to trade into the second round. I think the Knicks have enough second-round picks going into 2024, 25, et cetera, to be able to trade some of those picks into this draft. I mean, you talk about Charlotte. They got 5 draft picks. Indiana Pacers, they got 5 draft picks. Are they drafting all of those guys? I don't know. I mean, maybe. But if you can say, hey, give us that number 48 or whatever it is, and we'll throw you 2 draft picks for 24 and 1 for 25, something like that. You know, if there's a guy that you want. I think he's a guy that the Knicks should take a look at. I think he's a guy they should take a look at. He's a Tibbs type of kid, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? D Public Enemy said Tibbs is still coaching. The kid would never get on the floor. He said ask Keels. Now, here's the thing about Keels. There's a big difference between Keels and this guy, in my opinion. Keels came into the league. He was drafted as the youngest player in the draft. The youngest player in the draft. Right? So it's okay for him to get some bump in the G League, have to fight his way through. It's okay. I didn't expect that he was going to play with the Knicks in the rotation or get any kind of burn. I didn't expect that at all. I think we all felt like he was just going to be in the G League playing. We seen him play in Summer League. He wasn't impressive, in my opinion. I think this guy would be very different from Trevor Keels. You know what I'm saying? Very different. 5 years older, 23 years old. Trevor Keels came into the league, came to the Knicks at 18. This kid's 23 years old. He's been through some stuff. I think he's much more mature. And the respect that I believe he would have for the basketball game is very different. And knowing, and just from what he's been through, like, any day could be my last day playing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a guy that the Knicks should take a look at. You know, take a look at him and see what happens. See what happens. Anyway, I'm going to do a bigger breakdown on the kid because I like him, you know, and talk about and look at different things that he does in ways that I believe that he could fit the Knicks roster. Maybe, you know, take a little bit of a deeper dive into, the reason why he collapsed on the floor and all of that kind of stuff. You know, that's what I plan to do. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. And Keith, I see what you said. You said you like the idea and you take the kid yourself. I think, you know, I think he's going to make a roster and someone's going to get him. He's going to make a roster and he might be one of those stories like a Jimmy Butler type of story who had to battle his way up and then become successful. You know, but yeah, he's one of the guys that I think the Knicks should take a look at throughout next week. I'll be looking at a bunch of other guys and doing some videos on a bunch of other guys. I think the Knicks should take a look at potential undrafted players or players that they can move into the second round to get, right, leading up to the NBA draft. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Thank you for rocking with me. Had some good calls today. I do want to remind you, though, if you're going to be around, join us at our first annual NBK Cookout. All right, NBK Cookout, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be just below Albany, Coxsackie, New York. The only time you probably ever heard of Coxsackie was through AZ. You know what I mean? It's on July 1st, but it's going to be a dope time. You know, we got a lot of people that's going to be coming out already. And, you know, playing basketball, cookout games, any kind of cookout games you got going on. You know, we're gonna be playing them. Music, food, content creation. You know, we're doing all of that. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? My man JJ said, "Happy Father's Day." Thank you. I don't know if you're doing Happy Father's Day, but if you are, Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. My man Ron from Still Knicks Fans is there. Happy Father's Day. As a matter of fact, John is gonna be at the cookout, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's going to be a dope time. Make sure you get there and join us. It's $20 a ticket for adults from 11 to adult. It's $20 a ticket. From 4 years old to 10 years old, it's $10 a ticket. And 3 and under, that's free. All right? So bring your family out. It's a family-friendly event. mbkfam.com/events23. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So please join us at the first annual MBK Cookout right outside Albany, New York. And, of course, you can use that link as well to register for the draft party we got going on next week. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to go check it out. Click on that link and check it out. I'm going to get up out of here. Look forward to this Keyontae Johnson video coming up this week where I'll talk a little bit more about him in depth and why I think he would fit with the New York Knicks and, you know, show you some clips and all those type of things. But, yeah, it's been a fun show. I appreciate your time, and I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the